In this video, we will share information on what a psychologist is, what they do, how they treat, and how to get to see one.
So stay tuned. So Riz,
Yes, Debs.
I'm thinking of seeing a psychologist.
Well, how do you know that you need to see a psychologist and not a psychotherapist?
I don't know.
Because let me clarify to you, Debs, because some people do confuse a psychologist with a psychotherapist, and I want to let you know that a psychologist specialises in the study and research into how the human mind works and the study of behavioural and mental processes. So a trainee would need to complete a graduate university degree in psychology to become a psychologist, and their qualification can lead to a psychologist practicing in two general categories: applied psychology or research-orientated psychology.
Wow. Okay. So within these two main categories, there are over 55 professional classifications.
Well done.
However, applied psychology is part of a larger domain of psychology, and this realm includes clinical psychologists,
You're right.
counselling and educational psychologists. Yeah.
Yes.
Other classifications in the realm of research-orientated psychology include industrial community and organisational psychology. And these professionals and applied theories and techniques are for business and sales, government and social problems, and including academia. Research psychologists include scientists, scholars and even lecturers.
Well done, Debs. Let's see if you still need to see one, because applied psychology requires an advanced degree to treat mental illness. Maybe you do actually need to see one. This is the largest and most popular subfield of psychology. These professionals are called clinical psychologists, and this prepares them for psychological test administration or psychotherapy. They can go on to choose a specialist field such as sports psychology, forensic or adult and child psychology.
It's a big subject, isn't
It
it?
is massive.
Wow. Well, moving on to just focusing on clinical psychologists, okay? They mainly work in health and social care settings such as rehabilitation centres. They work in hospitals, community and multidisciplinary teams and so forth, yeah? A number of clinical psychologists may also have their own private practice.
Well done, Debs. But do you know what a clinical psychologist does?
Tell me.
Well, a clinical psychologist deals with a wide range of mental and physical health problems, and they spend most of their time helping mentally and emotionally distressed clients, specialising in specific conditions like sleep disorder, which you have, trauma, which you have, addiction, eating and sexual dysfunction. All of those you have, so I think you definitely need to see a psychologist.
But more experienced clinical psychologists may be called upon to write legal reports and even act as expert witnesses.
Yes.
So they have quite a wide duty of care.
Yeah. Do you know how they treat though?
Tell me.
Well, clinical psychologists, as part of their treatment plan, usually undertake clinical assessments to investigate and reduce the distress of a client's situation. They use psychological methods and research studies with the aim to make positive changes in their client's life.
They also provide various forms of treatment, including psychometric tests, interviewing, direct observation of their behaviour, along with devising and monitoring appropriate treatment programmes. And that can include counselling and psychotherapy, or advice in collaboration with colleagues and their team.
Yeah. So what skills do you think they would need?
Well, I think psychologists clearly need empathy and person-centred approach to their clients because they're in collaboration with them, but they also need a high level of communication and interpersonal skills to deal with people who are in distress. They also need the ability to recognise their own limitations.
Yes, very important.
They're not psychotherapists, so they need to recognise their own limitations and respond to difficult situations with their clients.
Yes. And if they're going to be working with you specifically, Debs, they need to have the ability to apply their knowledge of academic psychology and research to clinical problems, along with the capacity to be critical and analytical, and to work in a very self-motivated and independent way, as well as be collaborating with colleagues from other disciplines.
Okay, so we know how to find a psychotherapist because there's lots of online forums. So how would you get to see a psychologist?
Well, again, initially to access a psychologist, you will usually have to obtain a referral from your GP or physician, a paediatrician, or even a psychiatrist. And as part of your mental health care plan, Debs, a psychologist and a GP will ideally work together to provide support, manage your medication if required, and carry out any psychological intervention.
So selecting a psychologist is a highly personal matter.
Yes.
And as a psychologist who works well with one individual may not be a good choice for another. So there needs to be a good sort of client professional match there.
Yes. There are several ways to source a psychologist privately, and that's through various online directories and accredited bodies and psychological associations. So, there you go, Debs. Now you know all about a clinical psychologist, and you can go off and go and find yourself
Thanks,
one.
Riz. Thank you. Well, thanks for watching. We really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you liked it, please hit the like button below. That really helps us out. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment below and we'll do our best to answer them.
So go ahead, please hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel or download our app from the Amazon App Store and follow us on all the leading... What are you doing?
I'm looking up for psychologists.
Oh, okay. And follow us on all the leading social media platforms. You need to watch the video on social media addiction.